Market update here on the 25th. So ended up today after Powell's speech. Not the best last couple of days though if you're a bull. Looking at the 30-minute chart, we're at the top of the range. And this move was pretty tricky. This was 5 waves right here. And then we got this bounce, lower low, and then a big bounce up equity to 365.84, and then another low. I think that this is most likely a completed move right here. And we could go to new highs from here, but as you can see, we're at the very top of this range. If you look at this, we pretty much don't come outside of this on the 30-minute chart very often. If I go back farther, you'll see it right here. So that was a big move higher, obviously. That's one time it goes outside of it. But if we're going to make 5 waves from here to go up to 375, then we're obviously going to be way outside of it. I got 375 from this right here. I guess even higher than that, 377. So to me, this looks like it's setting up to make another low first, and then potentially bounce from there. I don't think that this is the next move down though yet. So we got this basically ABC move right here. This should be labeled A. So this move right here that completed at 354 was a WXY move. The overall could be an A wave, could be WXY. Kind of remains to be seen. But overall, I think there's a very good chance we dump from here. Let me zoom in a little bit. This move's kind of tricky. It kind of looks like a 5-wave move to me, though. So that's the hard part right there. If this is a 5-wave move, then what are we looking at? We could be looking at something where we come up here, pull back, and come out here. So maybe it takes a couple of days to get going, and then we see 5 waves down here. Kind of like that. That's a very good possibility. Or this ends up being an extended ABC move, and we immediately get it next week. If that's the case, then we're probably looking at something like down here to like 350. Because this would probably be a 5-wave move. So 354, bounce, come down here. We'd probably break the lows. And that has potential to be an expanded flat. So expanded flat would mean that we have A, kind of like that. That's what I see. It's kind of a tricky move. I don't see this as a next move down yet. It could be, but I think that this was... it could be, but it's very unlikely in my opinion. So we'll see if we come down here to 350 and then bounce again. If we're going to come down and make the next lows, let's look at the hourly and the 2-hour and all that. So look where we're at on the chart. If we come down here and start this move down here, this shows how valuable standard deviation is. Because look at this. If we're going to come down here like this, we're going to be so far outside of the -2 standard deviation. So this is kind of why I do lean towards a bounce, and this could be the start of the bounce. So don't go with the bias that everybody is bearish right here. We are at the bottom of the range. I just don't know if this is the start of it or we're going to get another move down. So that's basically 2 options. 2 options. This and then go higher, or this. Those are the 2 options I see. I think it needs one more move higher in order to get a real dump. And honestly, we could go all the way to 380. The 1.61 fib is sitting here at 382. And no one would suspect that. And we have a gap that has not been filled up there. So watch out over the next couple of weeks. The narrative can change so quickly. Everyone's talking about Powell's bearish. And yeah, he was very hawkish, but that doesn't matter with this B wave. This B wave can go all the way up here to fill the gap. So overall, just look at standard deviations, give you an idea where we're at in the chart. This does not look like the next move down to me. We got to come up here one more time to at least 375, in my opinion. Tesla is in the exact same spot. It looks like a corrective move to me. So it looks like a B wave to me. And if that's the case, then we could be looking at something. What did I click on? We could be looking at something down here. Maybe around 226. And then after that, start the move that I'm expecting to 260. So overall, still think that there's going to be another big move higher. But I think there could be one more sell-off early next week. And then this whole move should play out like that. 226, let's just see where that would take us based on that. So maybe only 255. I think there's a gap right here, though. No, there's not a gap. Okay. So 255 is a possibility, too. 255, 260 on Tesla. And then, again, that's probably going to be a short. Let me see here. That would be the 0.5 fib. So it's still a possibility that we're starting the fifth wave of a ending diagonal. So you got to watch out on Tesla. But this is definitely a good setup for bullish people. Apple, I didn't look at this all day. Give me a second to look at it. Again, another setup where I would favor bulls here. We have this move right here. Five waves. So that's either going to be A or 1. And then we did get 5 waves down though. So A, and then we're looking, it looks like a potential ABC move here. I'm clicking the wrong thing. Don't be surprised if Apple comes up here to 180 before it falls back down. So basically, I'd be looking for something like this. And then that should be the overall B wave. And then I'd be looking for something up here to, let's say 180. Let's get an idea. So 180 to 174. And then you're looking at something around like 183, 184. Like that, basically. And honestly, that only gets Apple to right here, and that could end up being just the overall A wave. It could end up doing something like this. What's 183? There's a gap right here at 190. So, again, we are in a B wave, in my opinion. So A, B, pull back, C wave up here to 190. And that would get us somewhere. That would still be like pretty far out on the 4-hour time frame. And again, it's even possible that this is the start of a next move higher on Apple. It's so far below the standard deviations that this could potentially end up being, let's see, something like that. And then we get a pullback. And then we get this. And this would be the final move higher. So, 5-wave move. That's all you need to know. 5-wave move off the lows. Currently in a corrective move. So it is going to come back down here to probably 174, 175. And I would say probably minimum of 190 on Apple for a gap fill. On QQQ, kind of gives you an idea of what's going to happen then. Probably going to go a little bit higher, and then probably going to dump again back down here. And yeah, so we'll see what happens on that. But Apple is very clear, so I like that chart because it is very clear. If this comes down to 174, that would be an excellent swing trade because you have a stop loss real easily. 5-wave move, stop loss at 172. Potentially, you get a 5-wave move up here to 195. You just made 10% on that. If you're playing options, you could make a lot more, obviously. But Tesla, so 5-wave move. Apple, 5-wave move. This is not a 5-wave move to me, though. So I'm leaning towards these being ABC. Microsoft. Basically the same chart as QQQ. I am looking for another dump down. But again, look at the 4-hour chart, and you'll see where we're at. The question is this a 5-wave move right here? And it very well could be. This could be a 5-wave move right here. It could be a very, let's see, it would have to be, it's more than likely corrective to be honest, but it could be a 5-wave move. I'm just looking for 336 on Microsoft. Been following this one all day, so basically this is going to end up, in my opinion, going up here and then coming down here to like 314, like that. And then I'm looking for 5 waves, and I want to see this gap fill at 336. And then again, that is the same thing as Apple. It's like it barely gets in the 4-hour. If it's going to dump to new lows down here to 300, it's going to be way, way outside the standard deviation. So it's possible that it is the bottom right here. This is a wave 1. It didn't look like a 5-wave move to me, but it is possible. Just know there's a gap at 336 and a gap at 350. Amazon, another one that could have bottomed here. Could also come down a little bit farther. It could come down here to 126. It didn't really gap fill all the way. So if it comes down here to 126, that would just be a little bit lower than what I consider the A wave. So we have A, B, so potential of something like that. And then we'd be starting a new move higher after that. So we're getting to the point where these stocks are really oversold, and you have the narrative that Powell is hawkish on the market, or he was hawkish yesterday, I mean. But we're getting to the point where September they're talking about potentially him pausing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that, and that would be the catalyst to get us to the new highs for a 5th wave. So still looking for this 5th wave up here. Let's look at SPY. So SPY, this is a very corrective move. Same thing here on the 30-minute. You can see we're at the top of the range. So I'm looking for A, B, C here down to the bottom of the range. Maybe even break the low here. This could come a little bit higher, I think, but and then maybe it comes down here and hits the very bottom. We just get something like this, a normal flat, and then dump. It's kind of my overall thoughts on that. This does not look to me like a 5-wave move, another corrective move right here. So again, probably a dump down here to the low 430s one more time, and then another move higher. Dollar. Dollar at 104. I didn't look at it today. Wow. The dollar is really pumping. And let's get a demand zone or supply zone here. There's got to be like a weekly supply zone we're aiming for. So the only supply zone I see is up here at 110. See if there's a gap to fill up there. No, but 110, there's usually not gaps in the dollar. 110 is kind of on the weekly, is the only real good supply zone that I see right here. You get a big move after that. So this could be heading up there eventually. I know I said 107, 108 before. This is on the weekly, and I think this is a monthly one maybe. Remove it for now. But this is a weekly supply zone right here. It doesn't quite get there on the 1.61 fib here. But if the market is going to dump one more time, then this is again AB, and then this would be a first wave. We talked about it before. Something like that. That wouldn't quite get to the supply zone though. So maybe it will go past the 1.61 fib and come up here and hit the supply zone before selling off again. My next target is 93 after that though. So the 1.61 fib takes us to 92. So again, if we get that counter trend rally one more time when this dumps for a second wave, and then we get a big move for a third wave, that would play out as a C wave down most likely. So that's pretty much it for now. I went over a few of the tech stocks. I can go over all of them. Meta I haven't gone over in a while, but I haven't done my count on that chart in a while, so I don't really feel as confident talking about it, but we can look at it real quick. It's the same thing as all the other charts. Looks to me like a B wave. I would be looking for a C wave higher, and this actually looks like it might be finished. I would be looking for something up here around potentially 313. So counter trend rally. This could end up being, is this a first wave? Let's see. Yeah, you can consider this a first wave too. So it held the lows, 5 waves. So same as the other ones I talked about. Could be a 5-wave move, could be ABC. There is a gap up here at 322. So that is something to look at. We have 313 for ABC. If it's a 5-wave move, you might actually get up here to 322 going forward. So they're all looking like they're ready to go to new highs as far as where they're at on the standard deviations. They could, and the 4th wave. So they're all ready. Look on the weekly chart here on Meta. And there's a gap up here at 360 as well. So there's a lot showing that being long here is not the worst thing, and it could potentially pay off. But there's also the possibility that we dump to new lows, which is kind of what I'm banking on going into October. So I'll leave it at that. A lot of different possibilities from here, but the general summary, I guess, is we're probably going to go higher in the next week or two, and then I'm expecting a dump after that. But it could be the bottom here. Could be. So we'll see how it goes next week. I'll try to make another update earlier in the week, and I'll leave it at that for now. So if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.